Wow, I was on mute the whole time. Okay, let's start over, shall we? Wow. Okay, giggity. Hell to the mighty chat. Giggity. Amateurettes probably asleep now. That was all for naught. I was even reading a couple of things on patience. Today's secret lesson is patience, Citizen says. So, okay, here's you a couple. Galatians 5:22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, and patience. Yeah, it's fruit of the Spirit, the patience in the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Absolutely. That's out of Ecclesiastes 7:8. So a few things on patience and humility is a good one too. Let's find humility. Humility. Who he who mocks proud mockers, but gives grace to the humble. Proverbs 3:34. That's out of the NIV. The fear of the Lord is the instruction of wisdom, and before honor is humility. Little humility goes a long way, a little understanding. God resists the proud, but gives grace unto the humble. James 4:6. Little humility goes a long way. There's some good books out there on just humility. Um, but patience goes a long way too. Hey, Bone. Bone's in the house. Good morning to you. Uh, Coffee, the lifeblood of champions. Well, it's a great starter for a lot of times. And thank you, Citizen. In all seriousness, no, Rex, you're one of the few people on YouTube that I actually trust. I appreciate that. Devil Flyer Momentum now in true stereo. Yeah, once I got off mute, right? Um, I do have my coffee with some lime today. Uh, if you haven't tried it, maybe you don't like it. Lime juice probably doesn't, get some good vitamin C from it. I've actually spoiled myself to the lime juice and coffee. Yesterday, I drank my coffee straight, couple cups. This can kind of go lukewarm or cold, and I'll still drink it while I'm sitting here streaming. Uh, okay, one more. You're very needy, aren't you? She just got done eating a piece of pizza crust, and she's already at my doorstep here. She had a good meal earlier. Uh, Bone is awesome. Good morning, Bone. One of the other few people that I actually trust on YouTube. There you go. I'm glad to earn your trust. Appreciate that. Um, we have fun on here. We should have fun, but not at the expense of others, right? Fun shouldn't cost you anything. Um, I get my vitamin C from orange juice. I take my coffee with cream and sugar. A lot of people do. A lot of people like iced coffee. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't get fancy with my. I don't. There's a lot of people lay down some good money for some good tasting coffee. But my tastes are simple, and if I was to become a millionaire tomorrow, my taste would still be simple. I think I would probably be more nutritious with my diet. That's for sure. Um, uh, make gosh, up into the 90 percentile people don't have the proper nutrition in their diet. That's for sure. I drink my iced coffee almost every day. Okay, you drink iced coffee almost every day. Yeah, some people like it. And Shadowhawk in the house, getting ready for work. I'm sure I sent him the link earlier. Uh, Perhaps he'll join us a little bit later. And maybe some of the lovely ladies, we shall have to wait and see. Some of these ladies, you're still wanting something. You are. How about a savory cheese, tasty beef, and delicious pork gourmet treat? How about that good and tasty triple flavor roll ups? Huh? They're hard though for her to chew. They're a little bit harder in texture. Little bitty butts. There we go. How about that? Should take that and go. Why are you so needy? Go curl up and lay down for a minute. Hen was streaming earlier. Yeah, maybe after my pizza stream, which was a couple hours ago. Yeah, I'll be in shortly. Okay. Yeah, she said she was going to stream because people were saying that there was kind of a time slot there that needed to be filled. And I did one myself, a little pizza break, early morning talk and eat. How rude. How rude. 18 views on that already. I don't expect big views on that. That's just kind of, but yeah, I would have, I mean, I don't want to say killed for uh, 18 views at one time, but 18 views I would have been thrilled about at one time. And I'm still thrilled about it. I mean, if I was getting 2 or 3 people, I'd be going, but I'd still be doing it. TikTok, let's rock. Yeah, TikTok, let's rock. TikTok. Let me read that right. TikTok. The clock keeps ticking, right? Let's rock. Carpe Domine, seize the day, right? Today's 4 o'clock shadow episode number 294. We're approaching 300 episodes on the 4 o'clock shadow. Wow. Internet down. I took a little bit of time off when my first uncle died this year, and then later another uncle died, and my aunt died, and a former employee. So a lot of death this year in my life, but we keep on rocking on. We keep on trucking, and we appreciate each and every person and blessing there is that joins in and part of our journey called this life. Every view matters, absolutely. Top of the morning to you, Shadowhawk. Yes, top of the morning to you. Yeah, a little English speak there, huh? Yeah, I can't complain about views. Totally blown away. Totally blown away about how people are engaged and enjoy and come in. And I know I'm not at the most convenient times sometimes, but it is what it is. You get. I think it's consistency, and I have fun. I'm one of those sanguine personalities. They say that if I don't have fun at it, I don't want to do it, because that's a person that took time out of their life to watch your video. Exactly. Kind of like now. Exactly. Every moment matters. And you should be cognizant of that. Other people's time, other people's spend the time they spend with you. You never know when your last moment is, or the last moment you'll see someone. Not to get morbid about it, but my first uncle's funeral was the last time I got to see my uncle. So, and he lived over in Oklahoma, so I didn't get to see him a lot. So I spent some time with him at the funeral and then afterwards, and hated that he had to leave so quickly after I understood he had to get back. He had medical issues of himself, and then later died from those. Vietnam veteran, suffered some skin type things for years with exposure to Agent Orange. My other uncle that passed away, he served in the Navy and went in the Navy when he was real young, at like 17, I think, in 1956. He actually, at the end of the Korean War. And my grandfather, I believe, was in the Navy in World War II. My oldest uncle, who's been passed away for many years now, I think he kind of broke the mold. He wasn't in the Navy. I think he might have been in the Air Force, but a lot of military in my family. But it wasn't like in your face type thing. I considered like 3 times in my life, even when I was 47, which I would have had to gotten a waiver to go into the Air Guard or the National Guard, which there's some of my family says, "Oh, that's not military." Well, you know, that's another debate. I don't know. He was like a lieutenant colonel. My mother's cousin. He passed away this year too. I forgot about him. Had a great write up. I would have liked to have brought on the write up of his. Maybe I need to contact his wife, who's still alive, Nancy, and she was big into looking up ancestry on like ancestry.com, seeing where the Danley family came from. And my friend Elsie, or Walter Danley over in Tennessee, of course, is a Danley, but no relation. So that's kind of wild. But on that side of the family, my great uncle, really my grandmother's sister. Okay. So that would have been like, I don't know. I think it's my mother's. Okay. That would be my mother's aunt. And it would be like my great aunt, right? Great aunt and uncle. Their son was the lieutenant colonel, very high up, worked at the Pentagon a couple times. Even in retirement, he did the ROTC or something. He was all military for most of his life. His son, my cousin, went into the military as well. I don't know about his boys. I have not seen them since my great aunt passed away, which was his mother, their great grandmother, or I guess it would have been their grandmother. They're grown now and has families of themselves. I'd like to see that side of the family. There's a lot of family I don't see. Kind of strange anyway. I'm kind of adopted in, but yeah, they were always family to me. Only family I have. So, uh, but we all belong somewhere. We're all unique. I don't know. I've had a unique perspective on life, I suppose, seeing the uniqueness of things and uniqueness of people and appreciate it. We're all unique, even if you're twins. You're unique. You have there's no one exactly like you. Every rock may be similar, but every rock is different and has a long story to tell. And that's what we are. We're pebbles. We're rocks. We're stones. In metaphorically speaking, and scripturally speaking, we're kind of told as described as rocks. Like he said, Peter, your name will be Peter from now on. You are the rock which I will build my church on. Right? I mean, and also in Revelations it says you'll receive a new name, a new pebble, even referring to rocks. Yeah, we'll have a new name, and what the uniqueness is that is the way I believe is that you will receive your new name. It won't be an earthly name. It'll be a name given to you by God. And then when he calls you out of the trillions of people, there's got to be trillions of people down through the centuries, through all the history of man, through a millennial reign of Christ, and so forth and so on. I mean, the whole schmear, when the whole shebang's over with, and all of God's family is around worshiping and whatever we do in heaven, which will be too glorious, too joyous, and too much fun to even explain in earthly terms. Eyes not seen nor ear heard what we shall be in Christ. Just think about that. He will call your name, and only you will respond to that because your name will be unique. Um, there is an unutterable name of God. Your tongue just can't. Our human tongues are not adequate to say certain words, um, certain sounds. So I mean, just think about that. All of sound in creation, we're very limited. Our noses are limited compared to dogs. Dogs are like 6 times have the sensitivity of the human nose. The eyes of man are not not as keen as like a hawk or an eagle, not even close. They're like what, 3 times sharper. Seen from high altitudes, just geared different. Citizen says I came from a generational military family as well. Yeah, yeah. My cousin, whose father was a lieutenant colonel. In fact, I have one of his one of the things he gave me when I was a boy. Actually, one of his U.S. Army. He was Army and uh, was down Panama. I remember during the Carter years when we gave the Panama Canal away, which I thought was sure, why not? And now China's in control of it. Another good move. Thank you. Yeah, this is one of the little U.S. Army things he gave me. He gave me some like a marksman badge and other things. And I still have it. And I was a boy when he gave this to me. Well, I was less than 10 years old when he gave this to me. So I've had it most of my life. Just turned 57 on the 2nd. So I've had that for almost 50 years. And it's amazing it's still around. It didn't burn up my fire. It was probably well, I still have it. What can I say? I'm really surprised I still have it. But that's a good remembrance. But he got a hell of a write up. I mean, he did a lot in his life in the military. Um, he did a lot. I mean, had a hell of a write up when he passed away. And a lot of that stuff I didn't even know. And mom had it around there, and somehow it got thrown away. I really need to connect. Nancy's kind of under care, his wife. I mean, she's had health problems too. Um, but yeah, man, I would like to get in contact with that side of the family while my mother's alive and say, hey, is there any way I can get a copy of Jim's uh, obituary, his write up? Um, I think this was in the local paper or something. She had it around there. I wish I'd taken it and kept it, or asked to take it and read it and maybe copy it or something, but it disappeared. And I was like, oh man, I really wanted to read that to people to show the service through the years. Uh, just, I mean, even in retirement, like I said, he did some things with ROTC or something. He was active as long as he could be active, physically. And it was kind of shocked that he passed away this year as well. Uh, I guess you could say one of those estranged, distant relatives or something. But I respected him. I looked up to him, especially. I mean, that was a very kind thing for him to do, was give me some of his old military, like marksman badge or just whatever this is. This little strip that says just U.S. Army. I don't even know what that's off of, but I do appreciate it. It's a reminder of Jim, and uh, he served many, many years. I don't even know. I'm going to have to get that right up because I just want to know because he's been very accomplished, very dedicated. Um, just like I said, very high up. I'm sure there's a lot when he passed away, a lot of classified information went with him. Um, he was privy to a lot working at the Pentagon. I thought just once, but actually, I think he kind of left. Maybe he went to Panama and then went back to the Pentagon. I don't know. Um, I'm off to work and have a great stream. Thank you, Bone. Thank you, Bone, for showing up. No, I didn't stutter. I just said it twice. I didn't stumble. Um, really appreciate you showing up here. Have a great day at work. Some of us have to work, huh? Some of us have to make a living. Some of us have to sleep at times. I mean, and there's Mr. Good Stuff. What's up? Well, you tell me, sir. You're up early. I'm just in awe of people that get up early because I'm not an early person. The only reason I set my coffee streams at this time is Shadowhawk's schedule, and it seems to be a good time, and people seem to enjoy them, and I have the time. And I take the time. Really, today I don't need to. I need to get that large order of production artwork off. At least get it ready. Um, Laundry, still working on laundry. Have nothing in the washer right now, but I have a load that's dried that needs to be hung up. I just got to work. Oh, okay. A lot of people do listen at work, or listen while they go to work, or listen when they come back to work, depending on the times that I stream. So, um, yeah, we all live busy lives, but it's a Friday. So, and good stuff. Hope your show went well last night. Uh, he lines up some great talent to come on his show. Uh, and it really does mess with you with the campaigns when they're being shadow banned and stuff on Indiegogo. Um, it really does mess up some of these shows and interviews. Some of us work all day and night and chat on live streams at time allows. Yeah, as time allows. Yeah, like let's see, who was it? Like Death Pusher. He listens while he works on computer components or something. The U.S. Army patch is off his uniform. I thought it might have been like on his shoulder. It would have been worn over the right breast. Oh, right breast pocket. His last name would have been over the left pocket. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, Food stuff. Yeah, he does some great. And there's Hojo. Hey, Hojo, good stuff, Slacker. I've been at my beach. Been at my beach for 2 hours. Just don't get into a bunch of sand fleas. A morning to you, Hojo. I wake up at 5 a.m. Well, you're a better guy than I. Well, if it's for work, I understand. Um, but yeah, I'm not per se an early person. Uh, but if I napped, I got up and made a pizza, let Abby out, um, did a stream, like a pizza stream, because I knew there would be a void in some people streaming. So I streamed a little quickie, about 30-35 minutes, and watched some Doctor Who State of Decay, which was is a vampire story. Finished that up, watching some of the DVD extras on it. Almost done with that, and then I'll go on to the next story. Something else. I don't know. I have some Alfred Hitchcock that I picked up. The old Alfred Hitchcock and Haven, season 2. All these cost me $1.25 at the dollar store. So go figure. Um, so that I know the old Alfred Hitchcock. I haven't watched that show in years, maybe since I was a child, pretty much. The first disc deals with murder, the second disc sabotage, and Jamaica Inn on the third disc. The Birds, I Confess to Murder, and Psycho trailers are on this as well. So pretty neat. And then I got like 5 or 6 compilation of some of the best uh, enjoyed Bonanza episodes. I really don't have a bunch of Bonanzas, so I went ahead and picked that up for $1.25. It's a lot of watching, but I love to have seasons of stuff. That's amazing. Generally the stuff has been out a while. I mean, Alfred Hitchcock, that goes back to the 50s, 60s, or whatever. But now that this Haven is copyrighted, it's kind of old too. Let's see. I saw a year on it somewhere. And of course, I can't see it now. It's probably a decade old. I don't know. Okay. Haven returns September 2012. So this was probably like 2011 season. It doesn't upset me that sometimes season 2 is better than season 3 or later seasons, because things have kind of developed. But for $1.25, that's a lot of good. That's a lot of watching. Let's see. time to wind and connect a stator. I'll be in and out. Okay. I'm not sure what Good Stuff does. Hard worker though. He definitely Pale Rider in the house. Morning to you, Pale Rider. Good Stuff one has to make sure the welfare recipients get their internet. Rank and unit badges go on the shoulders. Okay. Yeah, it's just amazing I still have that. I guess maybe that was with some of the old stuff that I had from my childhood, and probably was in my little trailer, uh, which used to be my grandmother's trailer, my mother's mother. And my grandmother's sister, of course, was Jim's mother. And there's the connection there. But he was in the U.S. Army for a good long time. And then, yeah, Bill, my mother's oldest brother, who passed away several years ago and was bedridden. It was bad. He had a stroke and was probably about 6 years in bed or more. And his wife had passed away, so it's kind of lonely. He was in the Air Force, so I had some Army, Air Force, and Navy in my family for sure. Who knows? And maybe even some other branches, but part of an electric motor, Rex. Okay, yeah, somebody has to explain these things to me. Maybe he works on small engines. My uncle that passed away this year, the baby, my mother's baby brother. Of course, both uncles that passed away were younger than my mother. She was like second oldest. And like I said, Bill, who was in the Air Force, he passed away years ago. Um, Tom, he used to work on small engines at a military Air Force base. I know toward a decade or so. I don't know when he stopped doing that, but he worked there for a good long time, probably at least a decade at that airport, working on small engines and different things. I guess he learned that in the military. I think the only thing I still have is my dress uniform. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Can you still fit in it though, Pale Rider? You seem pretty thin, so you probably can. What branch of service were you in, if you don't mind me asking? And how long did you serve? Thank you for your service. I still wear my field jacket when it gets really cold. I'll be needing it next week. Yeah, I need it right now. It's already turned cold here. You can see your breath. You can see your breath out there when you walk outside. Looks like this might be a solo stream. Nobody wants to wake up, and that's fine. That's good. I'm good with that. Have my warm coffee with a little bit of lime and a little good conversation, and I'm ready to rock and roll. Tick tock, goes the clock. People live busy lives. There's a man to be. Daily affirmations. I'm good enough. I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Yeah, I love that line. You love me. You really love me. Blue Harvest Toys. Wow, from the UK. Hello there. Hello to you. Army, 8 years. Well, thank you for your service. I was young and dumb, and I should have stayed in. Well, perhaps. I mean, at least you served and have certain benefits with that. There are definitely certain benefits to serving, even a 4-year stint. Or a couple years. This is a good show so far. Oh, well, good. Thank you. So far, so good. Yeah. Morning, Hojo. Yep. Man to be in the house. Up another early riser. She's up in Maine. Um, when I think of Maine, I think of wilderness in the North Park because that's closer to Canada, right? And doesn't really have the population of the southern part of your state, and also, of course, the great seafood. And you know, going out in a boat with a giant net, catching those fish and those crustaceans to bring back and slather in butter and eat, and clam banks and stuff like that. Maybe a few beaches up there, but I imagine Amanda B's got the heat running, and it's kind of cold up in that region probably by now, huh, Amanda B? Probably pretty cold, brisk, because I know it's brisk here, and I wouldn't say I'm in the deep South. Doc wouldn't even say I'm barely in the South. That's the way he described it. I'm like, are you crazy? Just because you're in Georgia? We had Civil War battlefields too. I mean, I was, growing up young and dumb too, Pell Rider. I always kind of idolized, since we were a Southern state, the Confederacy. But really, the Confederacy were kind of on the wrong side. I understand that. But yeah, them damn Yankees. Whatever. Interesting time in here, history. I hope we're not bound to repeat it. Lord knows we don't need a civil war in this country. We need to just watch out for each other and be kind to each other. Be patient, like Citizen said. Don't be ostriches with our heads in the sand, but be vigilant, be discerning. I live in Virginia. Hojo says battlefields everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Indian mounds here, or at least where my father farmed. A lot of sand and really like what we call gumbo, clay. Really stick in the mud. Like it would flood down there a lot. But now most of my brother's farmland is good, rich, by a river, nice dirt. He had it kind of a little bit easier than just gumbo and sand mounds, a lot of Indian mounds and stuff, which was neat. We would go out and look for arrowheads. We would look for a pottery. Well, I don't think we ever found any pottery or bones, Lord forbid. There was an old black cemetery down there too. That trees kind of grew up around. I don't think there was any grave markers. We never really kind of went looking in there. It was right next to airstrip where the plane, the planes that dusted the crops would come down and fuel up and get their chemical out of. Music. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all the earth, and make a loud noise and rejoice and sing praise. Yeah. This is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Why not? Learn to choose the good from the bad. Isn't that what we do on a buffet? Attitude. Oh, attitude. Yes. In knowledge after the image of him that created him. That's just part of Colossians. Colossians is a great book. Your attitude should be the same as that of Christ Jesus. Philippians 2:5. Not always an easy thing. Pretty soon I'll be celebrating 51 years as a Christian. Come the 20-something. Uh-oh, your icon's gone, Shadowhawk. Hey, Shadowhawk.
Hey, what's up, Rick? Oh, sorry, my icon's gone.
Okay, he's got his camera
I
on.
still have my camera on.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, is it cold and brisk there?
It's 26 degrees. I'm sitting out here warming up my car, dying.
Yeah, you're gonna have to break out the gloves. That steering wheel gets cold.
Oh yeah, dude. You ain't kidding.
Yeah. Every day is a
Oh,
gift, an opportunity to do something better. Yes.
hey, I say every day above ground is a good one.
Is a good one, right? And it's a better perspective.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
brr. I just wish
Yeah,
it wasn't.
burr.
I
I
hate
I still have a jacket that looks brand new practically. It's oh man, it'll burn you out. But now when it's really cold, it's a great jacket. My father bought that for me um, from the farmer's co-op. He
Yeah,
says, you want one, and it's like, yeah, I'll take a good jacket. And I don't wear it very much because it doesn't get that cold around here, but it's a down coat.
oh,
And
okay.
if you ever have a feather down coat,
Yeah, those are warm.
it will burn you out. If it's just you can be sweating in Walmart, if you go into a store, you might as well take it off and put it in the cart because you're going to burn up in it. Uh, and
Yeah,
the
one of my
feathers work their way out of the jacket eventually.
yeah, they
They
start poking. That's the one thing
they
I can't
start
stand.
poking out, yeah, and you have to pull them out. And I
But
guess it's molting season.
I heard Pale was talking about breaking out, or somebody was talking about break.
About breakdancing, I think he lost his audio there.
Oh no.
Oh, you're good. He
Okay.
was talking about what?
He said something about breaking out his field
Field kit?
jacket, the coat,
Oh, field
the
jacket.
winter coat.
Yeah. Two jackets are better than one this time of year. Well, you wouldn't have to wear two if you had one of those feather down jackets. It will burn you out. There's Jeremy Birds. Good morning to you. I
Morning,
don't
Jeremy.
think that was Pale Rider that said that. I think that was
No,
someone else.
okay, I don't know.
Maybe you're right. No, maybe you do know. Oh, it was Hojo. He says
Oh, it might have been Hojo. Okay,
I
yeah.
still wear my field jacket when it gets really cold. I'll be needing it next week, he said. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to bust mine out too, man. I picked one up at a surplus store a few years back.
Oh, you
I
did?
love it. Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
great. It like comes down to the middle of your thighs almost, so
Yeah.
covered like that. Really nice.
And some good head wear because you lose like 80% of your body heat out of your head.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta have a hat on it.
Yeah. Uh,
But yeah, that's the bad part is I keep my hair extra short in the wintertime so I can wear hats without making it too stupid.
right. And
But then
statics.
but then your head is that much colder because you got less hair.
Well, I tell you what, like yesterday I took a cold shower.
Oh,
Not on purpose. It's just I think I need to go out there and turn my when he fixed the water heater, I think he has it turned too low. I can't hardly even get it warm, especially this time of year.
right.
And
I gotta run in and grab
okay,
some coffee and stuff. I'll be right back.
all right. It's 24 degrees Fahrenheit here. Citizen says, yeah, that's cold. That's about what it is for Shadowhawk. I'm not sure what it is here, but they said it was dipping down in the 20s, so it might be in the 20s here as well. I know you can and there's moisture because it rained not too long ago. Actually, some of it turned to snow, the first snow. I think even last night there were some particles coming down, but they don't stick. It's the ground's a little bit warm and it's damp, and I don't think there was enough to. But that one night, when it first came down, it was raining. Then it turned to snow. Then it went back to rain. So there was nothing by daylight. You just had to go out at the right time to see it. It was covering the ground at that time, though. That was interesting to see. Probably the earliest I've seen it snow here, and I'm sure this is not the record, but was on Halloween a few years back. The first snow was on Halloween, and it wasn't a major snow at all. Jeremy says 26 there. Yeah, so a lot of places in the 20s. That'll wake you up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust my water heater because it's man, when that thing gets cranking, it'll scald you. But even during the wintertime, I mean in the summertime, I just couldn't get that water hot enough. So I'm gonna have to go out there and increase the flame.
Yeah, crank it up.
It's probably about due. It's an older water heater. I know it's over a decade old.
Oh well.
Probably before it has some major spill somewhere. It did have a leak that he fixed and was getting stuff wet back there, just slowly but surely. It's all dried up now, but apparently he didn't just adjust the flame high enough or something because it's. Oh man, I tried to take a shower yesterday and it was like, ooh, okay, we're gonna do this. I mean, it wasn't just start code, but it was pretty darn code. I don't know why it's not. And I allowed time for it to come through the house through the pipes but it just never even got comfortably warm. So I'm gonna have to adjust that because I mean, after you've taken a few cold showers, it's not fun.
Yeah, no, that's not a good way to wake up.
Especially on a cold day.
Yeah.
I mean, cranking up the heat is one thing, but when the water's cold like that and you get out, you're still cold. Mm-hmm. Even if the heat is cranking. Don't like that. That's a rude awakening. How rude. How rude. Rude awakening. Don't like that.
Nobody wants to wake up to shit.
I like a good, I like a good warm shower to stretch out in and
yeah. I like in the summertime or something, if I've been out working all day or whatever, I'll take a cold shower.
Slightly chilled. That is refreshing because it's so darn hot. Just to cool your body temperature off.
But not this time of year, man. I don't want nothing to do with cold water.
Yeah. No, hell no. It's cold when it comes out with chunks of ice. Yeah, that's pretty cold.
It's making little tinkly sounds when it hits the porcelain in the sink.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have Vic. Maybe I'll have Tank Ferret, or maybe Tank Ferret can send me a link where it shows you all the public domain characters. Of course, you have to be careful with using public domain characters as well, to make sure you don't just copy something. I mean, some costumes, I guess you could exactly, because it's public domain, but like Zorro, even though he's public domain, you can't borrow from like the TV shows or things like that too heavily, or you'll have a lawsuit on your hand. But this Volton, the human generator, I still have this handy. That the very first thing that Joe Kubert worked on. It'd be. I've got kind of mixed feelings about mixing in my universe characters with Golden Age characters, but that's already kind of happened on the first comic book that Devil Flyer appeared on the cover. He was right next to the Blue Beetle.
Oh yeah.
So how cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty.
And there was Catman and Kitten, and that Volton was in the back of Catman and Kitten comics. And there was Man of War. So there were several Golden Age characters on there with my character Hopper and Devil Flyer. So that was pretty neat that he got to stand right next to Blue Beetle. They called him the Blue Scarab, I think. They had to change his name because DC owns the name Blue Beetle. But still, you knew it was the Blue Beetle.
Yeah.
So that's great that my first comic characters published there are standing against the backdrop of a rich history of characters. And it was a George Perez that kind of got me reading comics, reading in his Avengers stuff. It was kind of a George Perez Avengers homage cover. So yeah, when I saw that, that was a great tier. I don't know why people don't do that more often. Have your character drawn into like an homage cover.
Oh yeah.
I may have to do that. I may have to do a variant cover where that would be like a tier. You can get your character like Butch Cleaver or,
Yeah,
Frog G, something
like a
like that drawn
tier,
in.
but for your character instead of
Yeah, and they only charged $100 for, and then I think you had to pay shipping. So, you know,
oh wow.
and there was 3 slots and one was already taken and I bought up the other 2. And I had a color rendition of, but they didn't go with the color. They even asked what are the characters' names, and I didn't even have Hopper named. But I said, well, his name's Hopper because he kind of hops around. He's kind of like a frog-like character.
Right.
And I'm still wondering if I'm going to work him into the Devil Flyers, into the Sea Demon story rather, and into the if the story really needs another character in there.
Right.
I think that would be nice. I kind of had a scene where Hopper controls heat and cold. And so while the bad guy, which would be, in this instance, it would be Killdragon, is going to smash something down on Sea Demon. Then Hopper comes up behind him. You don't know he is in the story. And he freezes Killdragon from behind and stops his attack on Sea Demon. So if I work him into the story. Hojo says, I did a 6-page Korak Son of Tarzan story for Arrow Comics. Oh, that's cool. That's coming out in January. Now, Hojo, doesn't Arrow Comics, isn't that who Eric and Boyd has done some stuff through, I think? That's like Mr. Yuck and other things is going to be coming out in for Arrow Comics, I think. That's coming out in I think I have some Arrow comics. I don't know if it's the same Arrow comics, but I think I have some Arrow comics in my comic book collection somewhere. January for a public domain anthology. It will be my first published work. Pretty psyched for all the other stories too. What is Sea Demon's backstory, Rex? Ooh. Have you seen Sea Demon? I actually have a piece of his artwork that John did back in 93 when the character was created. At least I'm supposing he was created in 93 because all my stuff burn up. Sorry, Shannon. It's gone. I have yet to do a variant cover. I may have to draw something myself. A Rex variant cover. I don't know.
There you go.
I'm going to work some of my artwork into my books at times.
Well, yeah. Hey, it's your book. You can do what you want.
That's right. It's my book, and I'll do what I want. What is Sea Demon's backstory? It's kind of open at this point. I don't really. I mean, I just kind of created the character back then, and never. I guess because of the loss of artwork, which we found recently while doing Devil Flyer. I guess it was last year sometime we found it in one of his portfolios that I said, oh, great. And I used it in an alternate ad. And since I had that to go by, and then I had Vic draw it, and then definitely wanted to work him into bring him forward. And he'll play a big part. Sea Demon will be one of the major characters. I think you'll really like him. He gets you right into the action in his story and alludes to future events. I actually own some hard drawn Sea Demon artwork. Just don't know the backstory of the character. Well, I think you're thinking of another Sea Demon. Sea Demon's one of those names, I guess, that is that anybody can use. I know even on Beowulf, Vic talks about, well, he's a Sea Demon, Cathal, or
Right. Yeah.
so it's kind of a general term. I don't know. Randy Zimmer is running Arrow now. Yeah. And my Arrow stuff is probably, gosh, 90s or 80s. I don't know. But there's been an Arrow comics around. Don't know if we're talking about the same Arrow comics. Here's that Sea Demon piece. I was wondering. It's under my calendar here. Oh. Yeah, get those space heaters going. Get that coffee. I guess you have a coffee maker there in your workspace, Shadow?
Yeah, I usually stop down the street and grab one though, because we got
do you?
we got crappy coffee at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I drink the stuff we got at work, it always gives me a
nice logo though. I like the teal. We kind of modified his look a little bit on the chest here, which he kind of did that anyway. Mine was probably just a V cut, very simple design, and he kind of went more elaborate on it. With John, he kind of elaborates on my characters, and it's like, I don't know if I asked for that. I always like the under wings. That kind of comes from Black Bolt.
Yeah.
His fin up here, kind of like Devil Flyer, the fin from like Guardians of the Galaxy, Yondu. Yondu was not a known character before the movies came out.
I mean, he's been around for a long time.
But now he knows. Yeah, he's been around since 1969.
Yeah.
I think that's when they came out.
Oh, man.
Shadow, did you used to watch Alfred Hitchcock?
Oh yeah.
I got Alfred Hitchcock 3-disc set for $1.25 at the dollar store.
Nice.
So I couldn't pass that up, and I didn't show these yesterday. I got those 3 Aquaman things with the little Jessica Cruz mini figs. I also got Haven, based on Stephen King's Colorado Kid, the 2nd season, and it says it was on the Sci-Fi Channel. So that's what kind of. So I got season 2 of Haven, which must have came out around 2010, and then maybe this was 2011, and then it says it's returning to the Sci-Fi Channel in 2012. So it is older, but hey, for a whole season, 572 minutes for $1.25, I'll give it a shot.
Why not?
Why not? I'll sell that at a yard sale for more than that. If I wanted to get rid of it. Somebody will take a chance on it for a couple bucks, make my money back, or whatever.
Was that Dollar Tree you got that at, Rex?
That was at Dollar Tree,
I'm gonna have to go look at my local one and see if.
Yeah, you might pick up some of those DC things with the little mini figs. Like
that and the Hitchcock thing. I'd like to have that.
Yeah, the Hitchcock. They had one. I snagged it. I love that Hitchcock show. We share the same birthday. What's your favorite Hitchcock film that isn't Psycho or The Birds? And The Birds, I just never found The Birds that threatening.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, they Birds were okay. Psycho was awesome, of course.
You have a pen sketch of Sea Demon from Apex. Yeah, okay. So he kind of did a version of Sea Demon. He's going to be drawing Sea Demon a little bit for me. He wanted to do it, so I said, okay. He's really excited for some reason about the Sea Demon character, and I don't even think he saw this reference shot here, but whatever he came up with looked like my character, so somewhat. So, and we're going to kind of use that eel character. Is that pen sketch got an eel in it? A giant, like fanged, looks like a sea eel, like a moray eel. That's the one I showed. That's the one that he showed me, rather.
Oh.
What's my favorite Hitchcock film? Vertigo's good.
Like Rear Window a lot.
Rear Window. I was trying to think. Yeah, Rear Window was really good.
Even
Oh, the one. Oh, the one with Cary Grant where they and
yeah,
James
North
Mason.
by Northwest. Is that
North by
that?
Northwest is really a good one.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah, where they're kind of fighting on the Mount Rushmore.
And then
Yeah,
the plane comes after him at the end where they're out
yeah.
there.
For the time, the birds were scary. For the time, but
Right.
and yeah, I'm not saying it's not a classic, but it's like one of those retro movies that never really quite got me. Yeah, I mean, if birds all of a sudden started turning against you, yeah, it'd kind of be frightening. Same for
Yeah.
Psycho, yeah. Nobody had seen anything like Psycho, really. Vertigo's your favorite, yeah, yeah. They did some great optical stuff with Vertigo, and
Yeah.
Rear Window was good, and then North by Northwest, yeah, is of course I love Cary Grant.
Yeah. Well, Rear
No
Window.
eel, just a sea demon character. Wow, it's
That
really
was
good.
getting
Yeah, I'd
good,
like to
right?
see a picture of what he sent you. Um, I guess he's doing like fan art of Sea Demon.
Oh, cool. I didn't know Apex was doing that.
Well, he did one piece, and I was like, well, where'd he get the reference for the character? Because I don't even think, because it looked somewhat. I
He
mean,
was
he
probably just listening to your vocal description, right?
maybe, but it got him a job. I mean, he'll
Hey,
be he'll be doing few, some, when I get on down the road and kind of thumbnail out what I want him to do, which I'll kind of keep it loose because I'll leave the fight scenes up to him, how he wants to kind of do, and let him rough it in and then, go over it with him and say, okay, this works. That doesn't, can we change that? But for the most part, I'm pretty good. And he's leveling up. So each day that ticks away, he's getting better and better. So
oh yeah.
if he had done it like when we first started talking about it at the beginning of this year, he's going to be 10 times better like a year later.
Oh yeah.
He's been drawing the creep and others. What story with the eel and sea demon? That's like the second leg of the story that I'm beginning. I really don't want to give that much away because it's kind of a pivotal story, but it's kind of an all-out action battle type thing. Sea Demon winds up in a place that he didn't expect. He falls from the future through a portal. Because all my stories are set slightly in the past, and it has reference to the end game, if you will, the climax story in issue 6. So issue 1 ties in with issue 6, which brings you up to present time. So as we progress through my comics here, like Devil Flyer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're coming toward the present because all these stories are set slightly in the past, which gives me some leeway, for telling stories.
Right.
But with Sea Demon, I needed a story that was knockdown, drag out battle, and you get that with Sea Demon. But it's really sets you up for deeper things. And Sea Demon will be making an appearance in the Silver Boa in the next comic book I do. So he's one of the characters that will be continuing his story out of Devil Flyer #1 into the next comic I'll be doing in between Devil Flyer 1 and Devil Flyer 2. So, I've got this planned out down the road a little bit.
Yeah,
I've shared some of it with Shadowhawk, and
my lips are sealed.
your lips are sealed, you know nothing. Right. Oh,
Right.
cool. Got it. Yeah.
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah, I mean, he winds up in a place and time he never, really thought he was going to go, and then on the second leg of his journey, where Apex Comics comes in, and where he'll do a battle with Kill Dragon, because Blood Dragon gets his that falls through the portal with Sea Demon. He gets his tail blown off, a portion of his tail. Well, it sinks to the bottom of the ocean, or is sinking. And this Moriel that was inspired, and I asked Apex if we could use that. He did. Yeah, no spoilers. Laugh out loud. He partakes a part of that tail, so it mutates the Moriel. So he has to fight this very sharp fanged Moriel, and then when he finishes that, he's grabbed by Kill Dragon, which grew out of that tail, kind of like a clone of Blood Dragon. And instead of being red, though, he's green, and so they're kind of like the Grimm brothers out of Marvel Comics. They're kind of like twin figures, except one's red, one's green. Hey, Caroline. I sent you the link if you want to come in here. I don't know how long Shadowhawk's going to be able to continue, but because he's at work.
Well, as long as I can, so,
Oh yeah, I know you would.
Just depends what's going on with that work this morning.
I just want to hear Caroline's voice.
Oh yeah, so always lovely to hear Caroline.
Always lovely, always lovely. And of course, I don't know what she's doing this time of day. I don't want to impose on her, but
I'm working on it, Caroline. I got a little bit recorded last night. Just a little test. I ended up deleting it. I'm going to redo it, but we're working on it.
Yeah, he's going to have that story, that bedtime story for you before you know it. It's probably the Epic of Gilgamesh, and it'll probably take a decade to record for you, but
1001 Arabian Nights.
Yeah. And so then he has a battle with Kill Dragon. And actually the chat kind of helped me come up with that. We were actually taking a poll. You might have been there, Citizen, I don't know, but we had a tie. We had 2 votes for Kill Dragon, 2 votes for Blood Dragon, because I like both names, but I kind of like Kill Dragon. Apex like Blood Dragon. Huh?
I said, I think I was in the chat that night too.
And voted, yeah. But it was a tie. So, and then they said, well, why don't you make, Caroline says, ooh, sounds great, Shadow. Yeah, we'll have that out to you packaged, in a box set before you know it, Caroline. I'll help him with it. We'll get it done.
I still got to talk to her, try to find out how she's doing about her channel. So.
Yeah, and then somebody said, well, why don't you make it 2 characters, like one grows out of his tail or something? I said, ooh, that's a good idea. And I've actually shown a couple of trading cards that are already done, drawn by me, that have been colored by a colorist, one in red and one in green. I'll probably use those. Those will probably be trading cards for that. I want to work in some of my artwork into the trading cards as well as the comics. If people want to see it, if they don't, then I'll have other artists do stuff, but I've done a few. I'm making bacon sandwiches. Ooh. Yeah. Tell me more.
Murdering.
I was there for the vote. Yeah, I remember. Yeah. It was great, to get some feedback and to do that. So Blood Dragon and Kill Dragon, I've had Vic draw like what are we calling it? It's on the tip of my cortex, libido or lobe, a model sheet. I had him do a model sheet that will do for Kill Dragon and Blood Dragon. Very little difference in the two. Might make one smaller than the other. The one that grew out of the tail might be a little bit smaller. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a, I mean, it wouldn't matter if they're both the same size, and because they're going to be colored different. But it might be better for the colorist to see a size difference.
Oh yeah, yeah. That might help them out so we don't swap colors by mistake.
Right.
I gotta run in real quick, Rex. I'll be right back.
Okay. And so Blood Dragon and Kill Dragon will play, are just like fools, if you will, are the villains that Sea Demon goes up against as he's on his own unique journey. And so at the climax, it will link back to issue 1. You will have already been informed what's happened in the past. And that's really the past story is your introduction to Sea Dragon, or Sea Demon, rather. I voted for Blood Dragon. Yeah. And see, I kind of preferred Kill Dragon, but both were great names. And then when it was brilliant when someone, whoever, it might have been Pale Rider, I don't know, someone said, or Tree Goblin, I don't know exactly, but said, why don't you do 2? And it's like, oh yeah, we could do it. Like, and it could grow from his tail. They even, it's like, yeah, that was great. That was a good time, hashing all that out. It really sent me in a great, when I sit down and started thumbnailing out the Sea Demon story, which I really think is going to be the knockdown, drag out battle, really leaves you on a cliffhanger. It ties in with Devil Flyer with the dialogue. He looks up and sees something, which I'm not going to spoil it, the last page, and he says, "Oh, devil," referring to Devil Flyer. "Oh, devil, where have you sent me?" And yet you've not seen Devil Flyer and Sea Demon together. Well, they were together in the future. I'm giving away too much. Anyway, Kill Dragon is cool though. Yeah, both names are one. Yeah, why not have the best of both worlds? Just have use, make them into 2 unique characters. This is, we can do this. This is all make believe, right? Just needs to kind of make sense. Don't want some crazy looking character that kind of takes you out of the story put in there, like Howard the Duck. I always hated that. Howard the Duck or Amazing Man for DC Comics. Shadowhawk showed a cover with a couple of serious hero characters and an Amazing Man, this cartoon character, which I read Amazing Man #1, maybe even more than one issue. And in his own book, that's fine. But you start mixing it, even on like an Origins, I was like, I don't know. I kind of like a little separation. Kind of like Star Comics, was for Marvel. Star Comics is its own brand, kind of over here, and then you have the Marvel universe. It's not part of the same continuity. Shadowhawk is streaming from a submarine. Laugh out loud. Yeah. If you hear dive, dive, dive. Actually, in the first, I'll give you a little heads up, which I think I've already have, but there's going to be a submarine torpedo is what blows Blood Dragon's tail off in the story. So there you go. Sounds like a good mashup. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be great. And Sea Demon represents water. Bog represents earth. Inner Man represents air. And Devil Flyer represents fire. So you kind of have the 4 elements there in a loose type way in those 4 characters. Sea Demon versus Devil Flyer. That will probably happen. I know in issue 2 that wait a minute. In issue 3, rather, Inner Man is going to battle Devil Flyer. maybe at the end of issue 2. Sea Demon's definitely going to have to put Sea Demon. All right, I'll just come out and say it. Sea Demon is sent back to the past, yet he doesn't know it. At first, he doesn't know that he's back in the past. He's at the very tail end of the 30s when World War II is starting to ramp up. Now he's going to come back to the future, obvious, to present time, but that's going to be you're going to go on the journey because this portal has sent them back through time, so it's going to be exciting. I've got a good device for time travel. I think it's not going to get too complicated in the time travel. It's just a device to tell stories and have characters that wouldn't meet. I mean, in the final battle, you're going to see my characters that I tell about in the past, sort of my golden age era characters. You're going to see them join the battle. Some of them join the battle in the present. So I think it's going to be an exciting journey. I really do. I'm excited about it. Just have to get cracking. What'd you say, Shadow?
They got no time for time travel.
Well, we're gonna have to make time.
Am I breaking up? Right?
We're gonna have to make time.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make time for a little bit of time travel. It's a good time travel device.
Oh yeah,
I mean, how cool is it going to be to have Silver Boa retro with modern day Silver Boa charging forth into battle?
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I really like the retro version too. He's one of my
favorites. I like both versions, and and Lady of the Night's going to be there too for the final battle. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm going to have a whole host of characters. Vic is going to say, "I quit. There's too many damn characters. Who do you think I am? George Perez, Jim Lee. Who the hell do you think you are giving me 30 characters to draw in this one scene?" I mean, he's already complaining about 14 characters on the wraparound cover.
So he's suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up, Buttercup. That's right. That's right. You're not a daisy. I'm afraid the strain was more than he could bear. He's doing a wraparound he was working on it yesterday, I believe. He said he was anyway. That wraparound cover. Hey, Gable. The heroes will be on the front. The villains of Devil Flyer #1 will be on the back. So and they'll be charging, and like they're going to go into a big battle. So what you don't get to see in a book is kind of like a what if fantasy type cover where all the villains are gathered. And eventually we'll work up to that where things will be happening like that. Some fun mashups like that. Definitely coming. There might be like a Legion of Doom type thing formed. Who knows? What is your release timeline for everything? 1, 3, 5 years? That's a good question, Gable, because Devil Flyer is going to launch in March. If that's 100% done, maybe they say don't launch around Christmas time. So I kind of like launching around tax time when people have some extra money.
Yeah,
but now are we talking 1 a year? I mean, I will be cutting it down to 48 pages, but now I think that's doable because issue 1 is going to have 6 stories. Issue 2 is going to have 5. Issue 3 is going to have 4, and so forth and so on until you get to the 6th issue, and it's just one story called Devil Flyer. So he gets more and more, but now those characters from the other stories will be making it into the Devil Flyer story. Eventually, they'll all be in there because he's kind of gathering up these heroes and stuff for a final conflict. And it'll be a lot of fun along the way. But in between, I'm doing the if everything works out, then we're going to be doing Silver Boa Black and White. Now, Sea Demon will be in that What's my timeline? When it gets done. I mean, maybe one a year. If I can do more than one a year. If I cut it down to 48 pages, this first issue is going to be maybe over 60 pages, which I hadn't counted on. But like we expanded the Bog story, it's going to be 9 pages. You've seen the artwork to that, done by Doc Blaylock.
All right, Rex, I got to go quiet for a minute while I go inside and get checked in, but I'll be right back.
Okay. So Devil Flyer #1 will be launching hopefully in March. Maybe if I had to back it up in May, I mean April rather. I don't want to do that, but I haven't got my sign up for it yet. And so if people hit it hot and ready, I mean, if I just like go around and say sign up, and I can do it in 3 or 4 months, then I'll definitely stick to that March date and launch. I think probably 3 months is big enough for a sign up. I don't think all sign ups have to be like 6 months. Definitely want to launch in March, but we'll see. Could back it up to April, if I need additional time, because they say for these campaigns that your sign up is key, for people to get updated and everything. But I'm kind of unconventional, but they say it works. So we'll see. I've given myself time to develop it and needed the time, frankly. I just want to make sure that it's the best product that can be put together, that I can put together. With that said, I hope people are pleased with it. There's a couple setup stories where you just introduce the character, not a lot of characterization going on, but like for the second Devil Flyer story, gosh, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to work in the story that I want to tell about the inner man. And he only gets 2 pages in the first one. But I had to stop writing it because I was like, but now 48 pages is nothing to sneeze at. That's long. So I may need another lengthy story. Definitely kind of have a handle on what I want to do in Devil Flyer 2. Slaver will be in there from Second Skin. The Killer Clown, spoilers, will be making another brief appearance in the Devil Flyer story. The bystander, who's the only reoccurring character in 2 stories, sort of my cosmic watcher that interferes or whatever, takes an active part. He'll be in Devil Flyer 2. He won't be at the final battle though. He'll be battling the Passenger, his sort of anti-life type character, right? His villainous counterpart. So there'll be a sub story of him doing battle with the Passenger when the final battle's going on, and you really don't want an all powerful, very cosmic character at the final battle anyway. Especially when as many characters as I'm going to have show up to it that are so powerful. I mean, they're an army of superheroes. Now, some are more powered than others. Some may just have stealth and guns and sort of Batman types, but gadgets. But some will definitely have superpowers and strength. So I also have some horde monsters or whatever you want to call them. I have like some rock monster type things that they'll be fighting. Of course, I know Blood Dragon will be there. He's kind of like an underling character, a strong character. So your first introduction to Sea Demon, his costume's ripped. He's beat up and bruised. And you're like, well, what's this? But you really don't have time to think of it. You're right into the action, into the fight from the very first scene. Something you really don't get with a Devil Flyer. That's more of a slow burn, developmental type thing. Kind of an introduction, very simple story for Devil Flyer. But his take a breath, because his story is going to be getting more complex and complex and complex as time goes by. Not so complex it gets bogged down, but it'll be
All right, I'm
interesting.
back.
It'll be an interesting journey. I kind of look at Devil Flyer as my Spawn / Doctor Strange type character. Not that his powers are magical, but they're kind of supernatural. So they'll be better defined. You know, all the characters will be better defined. So I'm not skirting the issue, Gable. That's a very good question. What is your release timeline for everything? 1, 3, 5 years? Gosh, it really depends, right? I mean, on how your first and second campaigns go or whatever, right? I mean,
Yeah, really.
the more of the funding is there, the quicker you can really get things out and get things rolling. So if I could do 2 books a year, I'd be pleased with that. Maybe do a Devil Flyer and then a Silver Boa, and then Devil Flyer again, and then maybe a Silver Boa or something else. You know, I do have a horror book in mind, but of like short stories, but that's on down the line. Huh?
Nothing. I thought I kicked myself for a second.
No. Oh, don't do that. It hurts too bad.
I'm used to it by now.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of filling in Citizens. Citizens may not have heard some of this stuff. I don't know. Shadowhawk
Yeah, no.
resurfaces. Yeah. He says Shadowhawk resurfaces.
That's right. Up from the depths.
Up from the muck and the mire of YouTube rises the Shadowhawk.
From the frozen tundra at this point.
Yeah. Walking across the frozen tundra. Yeah. I may have to do some improv stuff, improv stories, just reading, making it up as I go along behind the mic.
Oh, there you go.
I thought that would be a pretty good challenge. I kind of did that the other day on stream. I was like going down the windy, rocky path. Autumn was coming and the leaves were falling, obscuring the path a little bit, you know, blah, blah, blah. Just, you know, talking it through,
Right.
kind of visualizing it. But, you know, if I'm going to do that, I might as well do that on my own time and write it down and then tweak it. But yeah, I had to stop writing my Inner Man story, and I'll probably need that length of that Inner Man story just to have a new character that I'll be introducing. I'll always be giving you a good value because I'll be introducing new characters. Those will be like first appearance characters, and that's what I think really adds value to a comic. If, again, you have rarity, the rarity is always going to be there. Even on a big project like Cyberfrog, the print run is not going to be a huge one. It'll be larger than most, but it'll be smaller than, say, what Marvel and DC's been churning out for decades.
Oh, yeah.
So the rarity's there. You just need the demand, you know. And with Cyberfrog, a little bit of the demand is there. And if he really grows this into a big franchise with like cartoons or shows or a toy line like Todd McFarlane or whatever, who knows where it could go, then certainly some of these early Cyberfrog things are going to be worth something because you'll have rarity, supply, and demand there. And that's what we had to build is demand, right? Rarity is going to be there for smaller publishers.
A lot of that older Cyberfrog stuff is already going up.
Exactly. And it may be astronomically out of people's price range after a while. Who knows?
Yeah, at some point.
It's speculation at this point, but it might be considered a no-brainer in 5 years.
Right.
But think about, you know, if you know, Captain Infinity says I want to do 1,000 books on my first one. Still, that's small, but considering most campaigns, that's a huge print run. Unless you're doing like EVS numbers or something, you know, very few campaigns print 1,000 books or more.
Yeah, not many people are doing those numbers.
Right. I mean, I don't know what I would like to see what the final numbers on Wreck Planet are going to be. Of course, that was a very successful campaign, and he worked it. If work, if you keep at you add to it, and he streams and he adds to the hype, and he draws stuff, and he's got a good way of promoting. Obviously, it's working for him. As he prospers and does well, I think the CG slums, as we're called, right?
Yeah.
If the big ones are doing well, I think the tide rises all boats. In a way, it's only good news for us as well.
Exactly.
They're
And
bringing in a lot of eyes that normally wouldn't even look at our projects, I think.
oh yeah. I mean, we've
just
got a lot of hate to use the word, but diversity too in CG. I mean, we've got
yeah,
the 656 boys and B
right.
Rose and those guys. You got
Oh,
D-Wag
Pedro,
and
he's down in Panama.
yeah,
Look,
Pedro and
how about the UK creators or the Australian creators
exactly. We got UK, we
or
got
Sin Killer
Australia.
or Sin Killer
Yep,
or
Mark.
up in Canada, like the
Yeah,
Canadian Shield, Cross
yep,
Comics.
Rick.
So all over, it's not just the American scene. Of course, I
Yeah,
think that's
and a
where
lot of small creators have been, I mean, they're not killing it on the numbers,
right.
but they're making their goals. They're,
But like
being
656 group, they had a killer first campaign,
oh yeah,
still
that Trick
doing
Figures is
successful
great.
numbers. I mean, people are probably going to crush it on the second one. They're really going to grow on the second one if they're not shadow banned.
Right.
Pale Rider said, had to bring my art stuff in the house to code in the studio. Laugh out loud.
Oh,
Yeah,
bummer.
I hope Captain's comic is good. Yeah, I do too. I wish him well with it. It's just
Yeah, it
1,000
turns out
copies
good.
is still we might consider it, wow, that's a bunch of copies to sell, and it is. But if the demand's there, certainly, it's still a small print run. Hey, Just Carol, ladies.
Good morning. Good morning. I was wondering where our ladies were.
Yeah, well, here is one of them.
Morning,
They
Carol.
must be sleeping in or busy. I know Caroline's cooking up bacon.
Yeah, I thought Fanta would have popped in by now.
She's probably sleeping. Let her sleep. Let her sleep.
She needs a rest.
Don't we
All right.
all?
I got to do a quick round check on these heathens. I should be back in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Don't crack the whip too hard.
Yeah. I'll be nice.
Yeah. That's why he called them heathens. Get back to work. Stop that. Lords. Yeah. Not ladies, but lords. Had to get the kid off to school. Yeah. Whether you're a morning person or not, it's always drudgery to get up. Unless you're an early person. I'm not an early person. I'll admit that. I am a night owl. But yeah, I like my rest. That's when my inspiration comes a lot of times. It's the demands of life that kind of, the stuff you have to do that kind of are the boundaries of the river that kind of chart your course. Otherwise, you can just kind of free flow all over the place. Kind of breezy. It looks like the sun's coming up a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be overcast, but it seems kind of windy right now. So cold and windy. Maybe it'll warm up though. It's kind of sunny yesterday. It wasn't too cold, but it's definitely dipping down during the nights. So hot coffee and soup and chilies or stews or stuff like that. Oh yeah, good stuff during the wintertime with some nice bread on the side, a little crunch to go with it. Good stuff in the wintertime. I always, what's better than getting on a comfortable something and under like a comfortable blanket, when it's a little bit cool, and sitting down to a good movie with some good, eats, snacks, something or whatever, and just curling up and having a good, being entertained. It's good stuff during the wintertime. I might be part bear, just hibernate. Don't tell Art I said that. Art T. Bear. Yeah. I wonder if he's got any Russian or Ukraine blood in him, what his ancestry is. Because he identifies with a bear. That's kind of like the Russian symbol, right? Unless you're like over in China, and then they have panda bears. What is it with bears? Bears are not the fiercest things on the planet. So, but yeah, we should not fear our enemies. They should fear us. We should be top dog and act like it, and be privileged that we do live in America. Stop the hate. Have a positive outlook on your nation, and just positive, overall positive. And you have to encourage yourself. You really do have to encourage yourself, because there's going to be down times. But I refuse to get depressed. I refuse to get bored. These are all inner things. Now, that being said, I've been through some deep, dark depression, excessive misery times. And it's not fun. And it's like the stick on the plane is not wanting to respond, and you're in a deep dive, and you wonder if you're going to pull out of it, and it looks like, you're going to crash into the mountain, but somehow you got to get that stick back and pull out of it. You have to encourage yourself. And the best way is to encourage others. And then, when you encourage others, it's an encouragement to you. It makes you feel good when you do things for others, even when you don't feel like, and you feel like being alone. And I'm pretty, I'm like a hermit. No one ever comes over to my house. Elsie does. There's been a few other people, but very rarely does anybody. If I get a knock at the door, it's a salesman or something. Or we're going to turn off the water line, we're working on the water or something. But it's rare that anybody ever comes to my house. And frankly, that's how I like it. I like solitude. Now, that being said, I have Abby here. She's good company for me. To be totally alone can be wearing on the mental faculties. Sure. Nobody wants to be totally alone. And if they do, something wrong, because we're made to be interactive people. So that's a great thing about internet. You can interact with people that you would never meet in life. It's a pleasure to meet Carol. I would never meet her in real life, and Pal Rider and Citizen and all around the world. It's just amazing, the different, and Shadowhawk, all gem people, all in my book. It's a privilege to meet people like you on the internet every day and interact with you, and hear about your thoughts, and Pal Rider to share his art, and me hopefully to share something that I can contribute. I don't know. But if any of you have any problems at any time with anything you want to talk about, I'm an open ear, and I hope you consider that, when difficulties do. I may not have all the answers, but and I'm not a good listener. I'm really not. I'm more of a talker, but there are times that I can listen. And I do have a little bit of life experience. So maybe that would help out in a situation. I don't know. Virtual friends are cool. Sometimes they can be a little, well, like the pizza stream Citizen, you know what I'm saying? It can be a little caustic. It can be a little, but there's some people that's what they think the internet is to be a little caustic, be a little crude, be a little rub up against. And, if that's their jam, fine. I mean, as long as it's in good fun, I suppose. But when there's a lot of sensitive people, and they have a right to be on, and maybe I don't know. It's just a mixture. You have to toughen up, I suppose. Can't let people run over you. Can't be too thin-skinned. I'm the same online as I am offline, and I think that's the key, Carol, if that's your real name, which it's not. You're really one of the loveliest people I've seen online. Really appreciate seeing you every time you show up, although I know it doesn't seem like that always between us, but I've enjoyed the hell out of meeting people like you. I'll fight virtual raccoons just as I would RL raccoons. We cool, Trex. We cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the key, to be the same online as offline. Absolutely. Be yourself, because yourself is going to come out at some point. Some people may call you a one-trick pony, that you're, there's some actors and actresses that we say, yeah, they just play themselves. They don't have a wide range. And that is true. There's been actors and actresses play themselves online, in the movies and on TV and stuff, and they may not have a wide range, but they're so interesting to people. We're kind of fascinating with them, kind of playing little variants on who they really are. Some of it is acting, though. Has to be projection, but yeah, I mean, being yourself is, I think people are looking for some authenticity in people. They're looking for something that's real in this made up world. And speaking of good stuff, which we weren't, but now we will. Hello, good morning, Mrs. Good Stuff. Good to see you. I love your icon, just an X-ray of your back. That's awesome. I love that. Never change it. That's cool. Although I'm sure you've got more than one icon. I'm going to stick with this icon for a while because I think it's branding. People get to know you by one image, like Coca-Cola. And there's people like Pastmaster Dan. He changes it multiple times a day, and or they change their name. Now, with that said, I changed my name to shortened it. Took the momentum out because it was a little lengthy. But at first, I wanted people to know that it's Momentum Concepts or Momentum Comics that I go under. So it's Devil Flyer, Momentum Rex. Even Rex Christian, my last name. So it was a little lengthy. So I shortened it a little. I think having your real name in there helps because people can ask, is that Rex? That's your real name? Yes. And you're not just like Devil Flyer. That doesn't really tell anything about you. If you're willing to give your really name, your really name, okay, your real name. Some people don't want to dox themselves, and I understand that. I did change it once, but I think it confused people. Yeah, I think so. I mean, people get Pale Rider's got a great image. I don't see that there's any reason to update that or change that. Citizen, I think the Universe 333 changed his maybe a little, but yeah, I mean, he's got a great icon. I mean, very recognizable. I mean, these icons are real small. Even when they're up here on the screen on a panel, they're just small. The more people you get in here, the smaller they become. Harder to see. You need a good, clean, distinct image. I'm not sure that my icon's that great. It's just a picture I took with my digital camera of a copy of one of the portions of panel from Devil Flyer. But I'll stick with it. I'll stick with it. It's not even bone white like Shadowhawk's icon there, where it would really pop. It looks more like yellowed paper, but it works. My name is Derek. Okay. Hey, Derek. I can't say that I'll remember that, Derek. I'm bad with names unless I write it down. I can write it down. Derek's a good, strong name. Maybe I'll create a character that the name is Derek. Like Clark Kent. You have to have some Dereks and Brads and Toms. And I have a security guard being shot in the shoulder in Devil Flyer story. And the woman next to him screams, "Tom!" So you may know nothing about that security guy, but I gave him a name. And that might be the only time you see him. But I gave him a name. That character that got shot is named Tom because she screams his name out. And I'm going to delete that comment in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Derek. Yeah, just call me Citizen. Yeah, my real name is Consolia Banana Hammock. Okay. Hope I said that right. Consolia Banana Hammock. Damn, that's sexy. Man. You get under my skin in a good way, good stuff. Just saying. We'll leave it at that. And I'm going to delete that comment in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your husband was in here. May still be listening. No offense. I'm either flirty or flighty or both. Probably both. Tick a lot. Let's see. Phoebe changed her name to that and on Friends. I never watched Friends. Hood stuff. Yeah. So say it like Consuela. Consuela. Oh, Consuela. Okay. Consuela. Consuela Banana Hammock. Okay. Wow, that's even sexier. Consuela. Yeah, oh my God, she says. Yeah, I mean, that's great when you can sound it out phonetically. Consuela. Consuela. Oh, Consuela. Oh my God, I still messed it up. Consuela. Consuela Banana Hammock. Wow, I still have the stretch marks from that one. That was a stretch. There you go. There you go. Yeah. I'm special needs. I'm very needy, ladies. Very needy indeed. One of these days I'll strike gold. I'll find the lady of my life and all this blather will start. Yeah, he got it. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? I also have lime in my coffee. My coffee's cold, but I don't mind drinking it cold because it has lime in it. Now, just black coffee that way, ugh. And this isn't that great, but with a little lime, I can deal with it. Good vitamin C. Haha. Yeah. So, wow, it's Friday already, end of the work week. The weekend is almost upon us. And it's a party weekend. Do. I always love that. So early. Yeah. Sorry to get your tongue tied. Do early. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry to get you tongue tied. Do so early. Yeah, so early. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Amanda B says Mrs. Good Stuff or Mrs. Something. Mrs. Emoji. Mrs. Emoji. Let's see what she puts. Mrs. heart, and a white heart at that. Mrs. Whiteheart. It's like Mrs. Doubtfire. Is it cold where you're at, Mrs. Good Stuff? Aren't you in Georgia? Are you in Georgia? I don't know. I bet it's cold in Georgia. I know my coffee's cold. I'm just glad I got some lime to last me for a while. I do several cups. I bought 2 pretty good jars of it. Some of us has special emojis for each other. Yeah, secret. Oh, you're in Cincinnati. Wow. Cincinnati is where kind of comics began. Rich history indeed. Oh, and yes, it is cold. Yeah. It's brisk. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at my hot water heater because I have no hot water for some reason. I think it's a lot of time it's dependent. Even when it was really hot, my hot water heater tend to run not hot enough, and it was cold. I can turn it all the way up, and usually that would scald your hide off when it's turned up the way it used to be turned up. Somehow it got turned down. Just kind of zoning. Yeah, I'm gonna have to adjust that water heater because those cold showers when it's cold, oh man, that's how I want to wake up in the morning. And I don't want to go around not taking a shower because I only have cold water on a cold day and go around stinky, filthy body. Amanda is practically Canadian. Yeah, she's up there in Maine. She will likely be the coldest of us all. Now, Amanda, you never told us, are you up in the northern part where it's more rural? Or are you in like the southern part that's more cosmopolitan, heavier population? What, I mean, you don't have to dox yourself, but I'm just kind of curious what locale portion of the state you're in. Down east. Okay, down east Maine. Oh, so you're more in the populated area. Wow, it's 31. Wow, that's cold. Well, you're up close to Canada. What's the wildest wildlife you've seen there? Have you seen wolves? Coyotes? I mean, I live here in town, but I've seen coyotes that had a winter coat on and looked more like a wolf on the sidewalk on a main road. So, during winter they really come out and can come into town and stuff. We are surrounded by a lot of rural areas, so yeah, they do tend to come in here than they would, heavily. Wow, Carol says 27 here. Yeah, winter sucks. Might be good for glass blowing though, huh? Because glass blowing's hot. Get that furnace going, and definitely nicer to do in cooler weather, right? If I could replicate this year's weather every year, I would. Might get sick of it after a while, but it was about the most perfect year. Very moderate, very temperate. We had some hot days, sure. Very dry, very little water. But then that's why it was a dry heat. It was like a California heat. It wasn't your usual muggy, high humidity insects. Insects weren't bad at all. Even flies and stuff. Very, very nice. Not around here for wolves that I have seen. A lot of big moose, really. Wow. Yes, you're right, Rex. gets hot around, you're working with glass blowing. Yeah. I'm one of those that could probably take the cold, although better than extreme heat. I think as you get older, that might turn around, but I tend to be cold natured. Is it, or hot natured? I don't know. What I know. Get hot easily, whatever that is. You can't always cool down. It's my philosophy, but you can always like put something warmer around you to warm up. I enjoy the snow, but I understand it's kind of a messy endeavor. And like Shadow Hawk said the other day, he's not ready to start shoveling. Excellent weather for glass mowing. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to run those fans and stuff. Or sweat your ass off. The only unusual around here is the horrible cicada season every 7 years. Yeah, they get noisy, don't they? And maybe the weird Sasquatch noises in the woods. Yeah. Yeah, cicadas here. When I spray the pesticide in my backyard, which I did this year more than ever for mosquitoes, and really it was pretty moderate, but now that'll kill more than mosquitoes. It'll bring the cicadas out. It'll kill wasps, stink bugs, June bugs, just about any insect. Of course, the dragonflies at nighttime disappear, and that's a good thing because I don't want to kill dragonflies because they eat mosquitoes. Mosquitoes is the number one thing you want to kill. And then bats come out around here. I've seen bats flying around at about dusk when the sun's going down. You'll see a bat fly and hear it and stuff. Around here, we have a lot of caves in Arkansas, and I don't know that we have a big cave system generally too close around this area, but bats stay not just in caves. The worst noise monster we have here are the fisher cats. Yeah, like some feral cats can make some noises too that are pretty freaky, especially if you're out in the woods or something, and there's some cats can make some pretty wild noises out of the blue. But big moose, yeah, I'd be leery of a big moose. Big moose can kill you. Definitely means those moose, huge animals. I saw on Twitter, I saw some footage of an albino, or he was white moose. I don't know if he was albino. I don't know if he had the pink eyes, but he was pretty impressive. They scream like human babies. That would be disconcerting. There was a study where they said that a screaming baby got the attention of people more than any other thing, and I can see that. Well, gotta go, Rex. So we'll see you, citizen. Catch you next time. I know it's probably bedtime for you. Have a good evening, a good day, a good weekend. Miss Good Stuff. Oh yeah, we had a horde of bats living in our attic. Oh, that's not good. Space years ago. That was fun. I bet it wasn't. Bye, Derek. I'll try and remember that. I'm bad with names. Bye, Carol. That's not her real name. We got Coyote. Coyotes packs crazy noise. Now, I haven't seen packs. Usually coyotes are loners. I have seen those. I've seen several this year already during spray season. I've seen foxes, like gray foxes or whatever the different type of fox. Occasionally the red foxes, which are real cute, real beautiful, and also a little surly on their nighttime comedy routine. Red fox, and armadillos. Armadillos have migrated up here from Texas. The strangest thing I saw was a cat, kind of an oversized cat, probably some type of feral cat. I don't know if it was an ex-domesticated cat or wild cat, but it was chupacabra. I don't know what the hell it was. That's been about the only thing I haven't identified. The year before last, I straddled what I think was a bat. A bat, for some reason, was down on the pavement, and just the way it was walking with its wings. I mean, I only caught a glimpse of it, and I straddled it with the truck. But yeah, I think it was a bat. So I've actually sort of ran over a bat year before last while working. Seen foxes, like I said, coyotes, what else? Armadillos, skunks. Skunks are bad down there. Seen a bunch of them, little and middle, medium size and large, all over the place. Dogs, cats, of course. That's the thing about my job. I see a lot of wildlife. Deer. Oh, yeah, a lot of deer. And sometimes, 6 at a time. But I'm only traveling like a top speed of like 14 miles an hour. I think at the end of it, I average a little less than 12 miles an hour is my average speed, which is a pretty good speed to maintain. If you go too fast, it's ineffective. If you go too slow, of course, you're not getting done or you're not getting the area. So I maintain a pretty constant speed. You ran over Batman's baby. Yeah, but I didn't hit him. It was like straddled him, might have had a heart attack after that and flopped over dead. I don't know. I didn't look back. I did. He got sprayed with chemical probably, which wouldn't have killed him, hurt him. We get wild turkey. Oh, wild turkeys around here too. Now, turkey vultures, I don't know about them. But yeah, I know there's some wild turkey on some of my father's ex-land, which I will inherit about 20 acres of that. About 19 something. My brother owns most of it. He owns half of it now. He'll inherit another quarter of it, and I'll inherit my quarter of that has the wild turkeys on it. Then there's some land across from there that probably has wild turkey too. There's a bridge down there, and they probably cross over underneath the bridge and go from field to field. You could go back in there, and if you can get back in there in the thorns, thistles, or whatever, in the wooded area, it's kind of become wooded area. It used to be pasture that was totally cleared, pretty much, but now it's all grown up into wooded area. It's been that way since '83 was the last time cattle was on it. So almost 40 years, and it's all grown up. When you go out there, you have to watch out for ticks. You know what I'm talking about, Shadowhunt?
Yeah. Hey, sorry guys. It's a rough start this morning. I'm gonna have to bail for a little while. I will catch up with everybody later. Sorry about that. Good morning, all. Hail all, and hail CG. Rex, you gonna be available around lunchtime? You think? Rex?
Define lunchtime. Noon?
About 11ish.
11ish? Yeah, I'll be available. Why? You gonna call me?
Okay.
Or?
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
All right, man. Hey, everybody. Love you all. Have a great morning. Hail CG.
Take care. Yeah, I'd forgotten about wild turkeys. There's wild turkey. Some say there's some bear sightings, but and I know we have bears within the state, but I've never seen a bear. They say if there's a bear, stand perfectly still. I don't know if that's right, but probably so. Just let them have their way, be non-threatening. I don't know. I mean, a bear is so powerful, it'd probably kill you in one swipe or two. Wouldn't want to take on a bear, even if I had a knife. Go Tarzan. I doubt I would do much damage to the bear. I'd just probably make it mad enough to rip out my throat that much quicker. That's a lovely thought. That happened to Brad Pitt's character, Tristan, and Legends of the Fall. Around 1962, I think it was, set in the story, where he's an older man and this bear comes up and just mauls him and he's stabbing at him, and who knows if he took that bear out with his dying breath. Oh, I get bear all the time. Wow, man. You must be in a rural setting. That's become a problem in some areas where they come up in backyards and things. Yeah, but Tristan cut that bear tooth out. Well, that was not on the one at the end of the story that killed him. I don't think. I'm going to have to rewatch that. That's definitely a classic. That was definitely, I think, the movie that really brought Brad Pitt to view some viewers. It was a good story. It was a good. I would put that as a modern day classic movie. Not the best, not the worst, but definitely told. One of the ones that has Anthony Hopkins in it that I'm not, that I appreciate. My community butts up to state game land, so they get all the nature sponsors. Yeah, well, that's good though. You don't have like a lot of neighbors. My property butts up. I don't have any neighbors behind me, and that's a plus. The school bought it, so I'm wondering how it's going to develop behind me. But it's been 2 or 3 years they've owned the land. They haven't done anything with it yet, which is good, except tear down one structure. It's just basically fields. That was great during COVID because people would fly drones and kites and watch the babies and walk the dogs. They still do that behind here, so it's kind of neat. When we first met, the bear has a kid. Yeah, Legends of the Fall was fantastic. One of Anthony Hopkins' best roles, in my opinion. I think so. Screw the government. Screw the government. Bear, coyotes, mountain lions, land sharks, tourists, fox, eagles, vultures, ducks, all that. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course we have possums, old possums, marsupials. They'll kill your ducks. Swan, geese. We have a lot of geese. Whole fields of geese come in here during the wintertime. My brother geese hunts, ducks hunts. Big duck hunter, but he'll go out for geese too. I can't say that I've ever eaten goose though. I always wanted to kind of do the Oliver Twist type thing. The Scrooge. It's getting time to watch Christmas movies. Don't forget about Thanksgiving, but yeah, I'm kind of getting in the mood to watch old Scrooge or something. To watch some of those classic, the ones that really, are my favorites. I don't even know if I have a copy of that, the old version with Tiny Tim and the big goose they buy a goose, but it's not the largest. And then at the end, he buys them a huge goose, the largest that they have available, like a 10-pounder or something. I could do without possums and moles. Oh, yeah, moles are, because there's ways to kill moles and keep them out of your yard too, although it's not the easiest thing to do. The day I moved here, 2 sheep ran through my yard. Wow. All the possums are okay. They're just ugly. Yeah. I think that's why I don't like them, Carol. I see a lot on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I see a lot of videos with people that have pet possums. I wouldn't want to be bit one because they have sharp incising teeth. But basically, they're kind of weasel-like, right? I mean, ferrets are the same way. They have it's the tail, the prehensile tail. Yeah. My mother trapped one at her house, and it was like a rare white. It wasn't albino, but it was a white version of possum. And it never hissed at me. It let me take some pictures of it. I've still got the pictures somewhere loaded on my computer, I think. I was thinking about doing a little company called White Possum Productions and using him as my kind of an image. Big rats. Yeah, they kind of look, but they're not rat-like. They have incising teeth. They don't have the buck teeth. That's the very definition of rodentias, buck teeth, which is your rats, your shrews, your beaver, your rabbits, anything with buck teeth. My dream is still to have an otter someday. Yeah, as a kid though, I wanted a chimpanzee, but not anymore. And back then it might have been possible, but exotic animals are, you couldn't get them like you could in the 70s. I think some people have otters though, for sure. They seem like very clean animals. A lot of fun. Maybe one day you'll have it. Growing up, I had an aunt and uncle that it's pretty wild because we're in like a country setting, right? And they lived right next to a national forest. And their house is just right down from there. In fact, their house is still standing, probably built in the 40s or maybe even before that, an older house. A doctor bought it and still lives there, I think. Anyway, they had like it was either, I can't remember if it was a tiger rug or a bear. It might have been a tiger. I think it was a tiger rug. Something you don't see in everybody's house. And also up on the wall, they had a zebra skin. So go figure. I know nobody knows the story behind all that. If they told it to me, it was when I was a kid and I've forgotten it. I might remember under hypnosis, but they say that I'm not easily hypnotized. But the power of suggestion. Otters require a lot of maintenance and water time. Yeah, I could see that. When my sister worked at the zoo, she got to feed the river otters. She refused to steal one for me. Yeah. Well, she could lose her job, right? My heart just broke for you, Carol. I would be so sad. She's a mean little sister. Mean little sister. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was a tiger rug. I really do. Just like the bear rugs with the mouth open, looking fierce, and the glass eyes. I just was fascinated by that as a kid. That and the zebra skin up on the wall. I'm like, this is Arkansas. That stuff's in Africa. How the heck did it get here? He was a veteran of World War I. Before Mom, a few months back, left the house, he found his discharge papers. He was in there. He was discharged in 1919 from the Army. There's a picture of him here in town when they were leaving in like 1918, I think, for World War I, at the end of World War I. And we don't know exactly which soldier he is in the picture, but he's one of them. And the building they're standing in front is still there on Main Street. The courthouse. I think it's the courthouse. Doughboys lined up there. They have a doughboy statue, like a charging doughboy. And at one time, he had a bayonet in his hand up in the air. But when they restored the statue years ago, a couple decades ago now, they took the bayonet out of his hand. So it's just like giving a fist bump into the air, charging forward. Why not put the bayonet back? That's censorship. I don't like that. Make it more palatable. War should not ever become palatable. War is hell. It's destruction. It's death. It's something none of us ever want to see. Otters are affectionate, and part of what draws me to them, I like animals that snuggle back. I'm not touching that with a 10-sit. I mean, I like to snuggle. Anyway. She also wouldn't smuggle a penguin out for me. You can go watch some Nickelodeon, right? Some Madagascar penguins. That'll give you your fix. Or some old Tennessee Tuxedo. He was a penguin. Yeah, great cartoons. It's not the same, I understand. I'm just wondering if your sister is older or younger, Carol. I would say she's probably older than you, but I don't know. You might be the eldest. At any rate, you're young enough to be my daughter, but so is Mrs. Goodstuff, pretty much. That's sobering. 13 years younger than me. 13 years younger than you? Really? Wow. I didn't even think you were 13, Carol. Okay, I'm joking about that one, but I better shut up and get out of here before get myself in trouble. Hey, keep watching, keep collecting, hit the like button. Love y'all. See ya.